Shalom, Akim wa Akwat. First, before I start this lesson, I want to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, elder bishops of the great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopefully elect tabernacle of David scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So it's the brother Azariah back once more with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And I have this article here from Town Hall, and the title, They're Conditioning Americans to Hate White People. Now, they made this article because they believe that the general sentiment within America and really across the earth at large against so-called white people or Caucasians, which are really the tribe of Edom in the scriptures. That's their true nationality, descendants of Esau. That this hate, that this negative vitriol is unwarranted, as if people have been brainwashed, they've been conditioned, they've been forced into this hateful or resentful ideology towards this certain nation of people. They're saying that it has nothing to do with the works, the actions, the sentiment of the so-called white man, all right? They're just saying that all this is completely unfounded. They're conditioning people, right? Well, let's go here to Genesis 4 and 7, all right, concerning when Cain slew his brother Abel, all right, out of jealousy, because the Most High accepted Abel's righteous sacrifice and rejected Cain. All right, it says here, well, let's start up at 4. It says, and Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? Verse 7, this is the point. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? See? So, the Lord said, you mad that I didn't accept your sacrifice, but you didn't do what I told you to do. You didn't take heed to my instructions. So why are you mad that I rejected you? I accepted Abel because Abel did as I commanded. See, that's why the Lord said, why art thou wroth? Why are you mad? Why are you upset? You see? And then the Lord said unto Cain, he says, if thou doest well. So, if Cain, if you would have done what you were supposed to do, if you would have done as commanded, shalt thou not be accepted? So wouldn't you be accepted? Wouldn't I have accepted your righteous offering if you would have done what was required? It's not that Cain didn't know what was required. Cain knew what was required, but he wanted to do his own thing. See, he wanted to do his own thing. He wanted to do what he wanted to do, and still wanted the Lord to accept him as he was. But see, it doesn't work like that. See, so in regards to Esau, the Edomites, if thou doest well, so if you did right, wouldn't people love you? Wouldn't people accept you? Wouldn't people exalt you? But of course, you're not doing well. That's why you're getting the opposite. That's why you're getting hate. That's why you're getting resentment. That's why you're getting shameful spewing upon your glory. And reading on, it says, and if thou doest not well, so if you don't do well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. Now, we got to keep in mind that Jacob and Esau, this is nothing more than Cain and Abel being played out after the flood. You see, it's really the same dynamic. You see, so Cain, which would represent Esau today, he has not done well. You see, this man goes against all the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. He has oppressed the entire earth, mainly the Israelites. You see, he is raped, robbed, murdered, spoiled. all the nations, you see? And then he wonders why. Well, why do you speak evil against me? Why do you hate me? Well, nigga, if you would have done right, if you would have dealt with people righteously, people wouldn't have nothing bad to say about you. You see? But that just shows you that Esau has a very reprobate mind. He has no sense of righteous judgment. See, because if and that shows you also that he's the wicked, because he's not capable of righteous judgment. He's not capable of discerning right from wrong. You see, because a righteous person, when they're faced with accusations of doing evil and dealing treacherously with others that were at peace with you, you would take that and say, hey, you know what? You're right about that. I did steal your money. I did murder you. I did rape you. I did take your land and destroy your heritage. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you reparations for the wrong that was done, to show you that I'm truly sorry. I'm not just gonna apologize. I'm gonna actually put actions forth behind my apology to show you that I'm truly sincere. But see, no, that's not what Esau does. Whenever Jake brings up the prospect of reparations, Esau gets offended. See, Esau gets mad. You get offended because people are crying out for all the injustices that were done and still continue to be done until this day, and that you have not remedied at all. But when you look at the other nations, they giving the JJs over there in the land of Israel billions of dollars every year in aid. And the Holocaust, the so-called Holocaust, didn't even happen here in America. Had absolutely nothing to do with America, but the U.S. gives them billions of dollars per year. They give the Japanese reparations. Any other nation that they've done wrong, they give unto them a form of restitution. But when it comes to Jake, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, there is no restitution. There is no let's sit down at the table and figure this out. There is no 40 acres and a mule. There is no let's give back, or let's reconcile what was done wrong. No, it's pretty much F you. Yeah, we did wrong, but so what? Deal with it. See? So that shows you that Esau, man, that he can't repent. You see, this man is not repentant. And when it comes to you Israelites, he's always going to show his hatred towards you in that way. So it says here in the article, under the guise of good social medicine, liberals and leftists have poisoned the culture. Now, check that out, right? It said liberals and leftists. So all of this woke, all this wokeness, liberals and leftists, which all of this left and right and liberal and conservative, all that is madness anyway. You see, because really it should only be one way, and that's the way of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. See, but in America there exists all of this confusion, and just all of this, for lack of a better word, madness, that permeates in this place. And so that's why everyone is divided on left and right. Continuing on, it says, they've poisoned the culture with a colossal lie that whiteness is the culprit behind a 400-year pandemic of foundational racism that's keeping America sick. But is it not? Was not America founded upon racism, though? Did you not come over here, Esau, and slaughter the so-called Native Americans wholesale? The Trail of Tears, you know what I'm saying? Kicking them off the land, giving them smallpox in blankets. Did you not do that? Did you not take the Southern Kingdom from the west coast of Africa and ship them to all four corners around the earth? You see? And still oppressing all the Israelites to this day. Are you not guilty of that? But yet you want to claim that quote unquote whiteness, is the culprit, that it's not behind a 400-year pandemic. Yeah, it's all Edomite supremacy. But see, once again, this man is a reprobate. He doesn't want to have to acknowledge the wrong that he's done. See, because really what it is Esau doesn't think that he's done anything wrong. He doesn't believe that he's wrong for what he done to us. Once again, Esau got that mentality of, yeah, I jacked you up, but so what? Deal with it, nigga. You see? I'm tired of hearing you cry and complain about the wrong that was done to you. You're not the only one. See, that's Esau's mentality. Continuing on, it's being perpetrated by whites through antiquated systems of oppression, which is true. You see? You still oppress the Israelites to this very day. And you have done nothing about it. It's not that you're not aware. You just don't give a damn because that's what you want to see. Whiteness, the creation of white people of European descent, they say, is a lopsided system of privileges and advantages that favors whites at the expense of people of color through government policies, media portrayal, decision-making power with other corporations, schools, judicial systems, etc. To cure the country, people with big mouths, big money, and big plans are wildly swinging sledgehammers at America's load-bearing walls to destroy what they see as a quote-unquote white system, to replace it with God knows what. You damn devils, man. With the most dehumanizing epithets against white people, they're pushing anti-white government policies, anti-white media portrayals, anti-white corporate decision-making, anti-white curriculums in schools, and an anti-white oppression narrative unto the judicial system. So the fact that people are pushing for these things, doesn't that mean that these things are already in place? But yet in this article, they're acting as if these things don't exist. As if all of this is just a figment of people's imagination, that white oppression, that the judicial system is not rigged against the Israelite, that the school system is not rigged against the Israelite, that housing is not rigged against the Israelite, that pretty much all facets of American society are against the Israelite. That's not a figment of your imagination. That's the truth. And this whole movement or ideology of racial oppression of the so-called white man, this is not a new thing. This goes back to civil rights, to the Marcus Garvey era, even before that. You know what I'm saying? So this ideology has been around for a very, very long time. You see? But yet still to this day, you see Esau, he don't want to acknowledge it, which again, the Most High is going to be justified when he takes Esau down and completely destroys him, because you had more than enough time to fix the wrongs that you've done, but you still haven't done it, which shows that you're not repentant, you're not sorry, you don't feel as though you've done anything wrong. You see, you just continue on with this I don't give a damn mentality, you see, and now even your own people, other Edomites, are coming against you and calling you out for your wickedness, and you're hurt about that. You see, because this is a day that Esau thought he would never see. This is Habakkuk 2:16. It says, "Thou art filled with shameful glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be upon thy glory." So the glory of Esau, Edom, the glory of America, the glory of Europe and the colonial past. See, all of that is being shamed right now. You see, all of that glory that the Edomites once had, it's all being brought to shame. And why? Ultimately, it's really through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. See, what they would call anti-white hate, that's really the indignation of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua against the wicked, which is Esau, Edom. You see? So this right here shows you that the Most High is causing a spirit in the earth to be against the wicked, to be against Esau, Edom. Obadiah 1:10, it says, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." See, so it's echoing the same sentiment as Habakkuk 2:16. So Esau has a lot to pay for, and his hypocrisy. The scriptures also tell you that the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. So here it is, all this evil that this man has done and perpetuated across the whole earth. But yet you want to absolve yourself of any form of responsibility because you believe that you are the Most High. You believe that you are God. So therefore, you can do what you want to do. And there's no consequence. Can't nobody tell you nothing. That's the mentality of the Edomite. And this man is so wicked that even the low level Edomites, the average Edomite out here, even they're speaking evil against you. They're calling out the colonial history, the oppression that they perpetuated all around the earth. You see? Now, let me go here to this video. Now, brothers have done responses on this. So it's Piers Morgan, and he's on a panel with other journalists discussing reparations for Black Americans, and specifically Jake celebrating Juneteenth rather than July 4th. So they're saying, oh, well, they want to celebrate Juneteenth instead of July 4th. Why should we give them reparations when they don't even want to acknowledge the greatness of America? You know what I'm saying? So they're about to go in. This is a 3-minute, about a 4-minute clip. So we'll check it out and dissect it. But you're gonna hear just the pride of these Edomites, the pride of their heart, their hate towards Jake. You know what I'm saying? So let's play this.
How to be genuinely proud of our great countries, both America and United Kingdom, two of the greatest countries.
They said we need to learn how to be proud of the greatness of America and the UK. But once again, how was America established? How was the UK and their overseas colonial empires established? Through rape, robbery, murder, exploitation, deception. That's how these things were established. But they say that we need to remember how to be proud about that. So once again, reprobates, man. Okay, hypocrites.
In the world, it's almost like every day now, somebody somewhere, normally on the left, the woke left, is queuing up to find a reason to hate the countries and their histories.
Well, it's a kind of grievance competition. Your guest earlier just tried to engage in it. I don't know what hurt she believes she's had from slavery.
So you heard that? He said it's a grievance competition. So he's basically saying, oh, this is a competition to see who's been through more pain, who's been through more hell, which it ain't about that. See, all Jake has been asking for the longest time is to, first and foremost, be treated like a human being. All right, they got in the Constitution that you're 2/3 of a man, that you're not equal to the white man, right? That was written into the original Constitution, you see? But nah, man, this ain't no grievance competition. Because, we understand that all nations have been through some sort of hell, but it's really all about the Israelites, you see? Really, you disregard what Jake has been asking for, has been begging you for. Because for the longest time, Jake been begging Esau to be treated like a human being. It's not like Jake is asking for, millions of dollars, even though some Jakes do. But hey, most Jakes would be happy with, a nice car, a nice house, a little bit of money in the bank to where they can live comfortably. You know what I'm saying? Or just not have to be oppressed in general. And really, the fact that he even made that statement, number one, is very prideful. And number two, it also shows you the spirit that he has on him. You know what I'm saying? That's a spirit of hate. Because if it was any other nation, like if it was a Moabite, if the Moabites were crying out against oppression and, begging for, justice to be done, they wouldn't have this sentiment. But the fact that it's Jake, he's annoyed. The fact that it's Jake, he's just tired of hearing about it. you know, because you see, only because it's Jake, they don't want to hear what you have to say. They don't care about your grievance. They don't care about the wrong that was done to you. It's not like they don't know. They just don't give a damn. Let's continue.
All of this was addressed 2 centuries ago. Everything has consequences. All history has consequences and ramifications. But, if we were to play this fairly, we would at least look at all of the countries around the world that engaged in the slave trade who are simply not interested in any form of reparations. The Ottoman Empire, all the Arab countries who not just traded far more slaves than across the Atlantic, but castrated all the men so that there wouldn't be any more African slaves after them. They worked them to the bone. I see no interest across Africa in paying reparations for selling their brother and sister Africans into slavery or for working them to the bone to the present day. There is slavery across Africa today. In fact, there are more slaves in the world today than...
And see how, he wants to flip the script. Because, see, no one's talking about Africa. Nigga, we talking about you. We talking about the Edomite. We talking about what you've done. You see? We don't know nobody over there on the continent of Africa that we can, go to and say, hey, you wronged us. All right, you sold us. We don't have no idea. But over here in America, in the Western Hemisphere, it's the Edomite. You see, Esau, no accountability. See, just like the black woman, no accountability for Esau, man. You see, he doesn't want to acknowledge the wrong that he's done, just like Cain didn't want to acknowledge the wrong that he's done. He's like, oh, well, you shouldn't look at us. You should look at Africa. You should be pointing the finger at your brothers and sisters that sold you. We're not responsible. All right, but let's break that down real quick, though. Yeah, you did have some Jakes in Africa that sold other Jakes because they were prisoners of war or they were, certain undesirables or whatever the case may be. Okay, you also had Hamites that was selling us as well. So you had a lot of things going on. But wasn't it the white man that came over there with the guns and the rum and the wine and all of these valuable things that they said, well, hey, we will buy your prisoners of war. We will buy some of your undesirables in exchange for this right here. You see, because we have a desire that we want to fulfill. Understand? So yeah, in that case, the buyer and the seller are both responsible. You see, but what was done after the fact? What was done after you bought the slaves and brought them over here? It's not like you just made people work, because that's really what is slavery. Slavery is just servitude. You understand what I'm saying? That's what slavery is. You know what I'm saying? Making someone perform a task, work for you for a certain amount of time, and then you release them after their sentence is complete, right? That's how slavery is supposed to work. But no, see what the Edomite did, you created a system based on race, right? You created a system based on race in which you habitually oppress people over centuries, right? You created laws against them. You stripped their heritage away. You separated families. You raped the women, you raped the men, you raped the children. And still to this day, you doing the same exact thing. You systematically destroyed a whole nation of people. See, that's really beyond slavery. You see, because like I said, slavery wasn't separating families and raping people and all of that. Nah, man, slavery was a system of servitude, right? So yeah, if you wanted to bring Jake over here, because that was our punishment, right? If you wanted to bring Jake over here and make Jake work in the fields from sun up to sundown, then that's all it should have been. You shouldn't have been You see, Esau went too far. You shouldn't have beat our heritage and nationality out of us. You shouldn't have separated our families. You shouldn't have been buck breaking the men, raping the women, raping the children. You shouldn't have been treating Jake less than an animal. See, that's going too far. And that's what they don't want to talk about, because when we was on the west coast of Africa and different places to where we were scattered, when our people, or should I say, the undesirables or the prisoners of war, they wasn't being treated like that, but they were slaves, right? Or they were in a lower position, but they wasn't being treated in what's the word? In inhumanely, Salakia. They were not being treated inhumanely. But see, Esau, he treat Jake less than an animal. You see, he treat Jake like he just a worm on the ground. Just step on him and just continue on about his life. You see, so when these Edomites speak, like I said, this is just the hatred that's coming out. Now, they're not going to openly say things that would be deemed hateful, but he's doing it in a very slick way to where, he's expressing his hatred in a form of, how do I say it? In a form of deception. I'll put it that way. Let's continue.
There were at the height of the transatlantic slave trade. So some of us are simply a bit bored of hearing people ripping at closed wounds and then crying about their hurt or their presumed hurt. Because everybody could do this. 1 million Europeans were stolen by North Africans over the course of decades of the North African Barbary pirate slave trade. Where would you end if you did that? The answer is you couldn't end.
But are you suffering from that today, though? Are you suffering from that today? And the answer is no. Because even if that happened, well, you got revenge. You see? The Europeans got revenge against that. So that has already been reconciled. So that's a very bad example that he just used. Oh, Europeans were taking the slaves. Well, Europeans today are not suffering from a result of that event. And there was a time when Europe ruled over the whole of the known world. So whatever that any other nation did to them, they got their lick back. You see? So a very bad example. Let's continue.
Because nobody is alive who has actually suffered the hurt, and nobody is alive who did the wrong. And I'd make one other point, if I may.
And that's a lie. You see, that's a lie, because the descendants of the Edomites alive today, Piers Morgan, all of the Edomites on this panel, guess what? They are descendants of their ancestors. So guess what? They are here today. All right? Because you have inherited, you have benefited from the actions of your ancestors. So no, you don't get a pass, Esau. You can't just sit up there and say that, oh, well, none of them are here today, so therefore we can't point the finger. Nah, we point the finger at you. And this is a basic example, but if I have a bike and one of my neighbors down the street, his son come and steal my bike, right? I don't know that he stole the bike, but I just know that my bike got took, and he's the one that took my bike, right? And he take the bike home and he ride it around every day. And then it gets to a point where we get older, right? And then he has a son and he passes that bike down to his son, right? He passes that bike down to his son, and so on and so forth, until the point where, he's proud about the bike, because he's like, oh, I've had this bike in my family for generations. This is a nice antique bike, and then the information comes out. Well, hey, my great grandfather had a bike just like that. You see, and then the information comes out that your great grandfather stole that bike from my great grandfather. Now that will be the equivalent of the descendant of the person that stole the bike telling the victim, oh, well, that was a long time ago, forget about it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, the bike got took, but so what? So what? You know, this bike has been in my family for years, and I'm not gonna give it back. So that's exactly what these Edomites do. They benefit off of slavery, they benefit off oppression, and then they tell you that you shouldn't be mad. Or that you can't blame them because, oh, that was my ancestors. I'm not my ancestors. Well, yeah, you are your ancestors, man. All right. Reincarnation is a real thing in the scriptures. All right. You are your forefathers come back today. And this is why you have the same sentiment as your forefathers. Because, hey, they would have been saying the same thing that he's saying. All right. So let's continue.
It's always the countries that people want to come to who are put through this struggle session. Britain, like America and France, are the most desired destinations for migrants worldwide and have been.
Why? But see, again, why is that? Why? Because these nations got rich off of the backs of the Israelites. All right, y'all got rich off of slavery. That's why Europe and America, Australia are considered first world nations, because of the wealth that you gained from hundreds of years worth of free labor. You see, that's how you got rich. So of course, Europe and America are the envy of the world, but that's only because you benefited from ill-gotten gain. You benefited from wicked riches. Let's continue.
For centuries. Why is that? It's not because we're racist, it's because we're better. It's because we're good. It's because when we see racism, we actually...
It's not because we're racist, right? It's because we're better. It's because we're good. That's the pride of the Edomite for you. Right there, front and center. That's the pride. The fact that he even got the nerve to open his mouth and utter such words, man. You know? Oh, man, look, I can't wait till the Most High destroy these damn devils, man. I can't wait. Let's continue.
Actually call it out and recognize it as a sin. Try finding that across Africa. Try finding that across the Middle East or in China. Nobody would hear. So what we have is a situation where the more virtuous countries are presented as the worst countries. It's sick, and most of us are tired of it.
Well, there it is. You heard him. He's sick. Most of us are sick. And we're tired of it. Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Yeah, we murdered you. We raped you. We took your land. We took your heritage. But so what? We're not guilty. We didn't do anything wrong. All we did was oppress and abuse some niggas. Right? And they that sell them. Now, who sold us? Huh? Who put us on auction blocks? Huh? The Edomites. Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. Right? They have gotten rich off of the backs of Jake, right? Off the land, off of slavery. Hey, they still continue to exploit Jake unto this very day. You see, and their own shepherds pity them not. So, hey, so their own leaders, Jesse Jackson, Young Thug, Michael Jordan, LeBron, right? The leaders of this people cause them to err. You see, so their own shepherds, their own leaders pity them not, man. See? So Esau has no pity upon the poor man, upon the Israelite. They actually feel that they're justified in what they do. You see? They actually feel that they're justified in what they do. Why? Because to them, you're the problem. You're the enemy. You see? And when you're dealing with your enemy, they're always going to look at you as the problem because they hate you. See, they can't stand you anyway. So they're always going to look at you as, it doesn't matter how good you do. It doesn't matter how bad you do. To them, you're always a grievance unto them to behold. They hate to look at you, man. And this is why they have this sentiment, the belief that they do. Let me get Psalms real quick, Salakia. Psalms 73 and 8. It says, they scoff and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walks through the earth. See, so hey, man, woe unto them that speak wickedly concerning oppression. And who's speaking wickedly concerning oppression? Mainly Esau. All right, and you just heard it in that clip. We're tired of hearing about it. We're tired of hearing about these Israelites complaining about how oppressed that they are. This is an oppression competition with these people. They just won't be quiet. They just won't shut up and just live. You see? That's what they want. They don't want Jake to speak out. They don't want Jake to voice your frustration. To hell with your frustration. That's their attitude. So, hey man, the joy of the hypocrite is before a moment. Esau's kingdom is coming to an end, and the spirit of the Most High is rising up against him in the earth. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and end this lesson. In closing, call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, Shalom, DTA, and a Bible bar. Shalom.